What's the deal, everybody? Welcome back to the studio. I'm Jeremy Deal, and today, if you can't tell by it sitting in my hand, Insta360 Sphere Day. A little bit different. In just a moment, I'm gonna break over into the office and I'm gonna show you how I edit my 4 most used shots with this camera. And these are specifically shots that are very difficult to get unless you have an FPV drone or, again, this camera. So let's dive into the office and start with shot number 1. All right, here we are in the office. Let's get into it. I have a bunch of clips pulled up over here. Now I'm gonna show you the Insta360 side of all these clips. You can bring them into whatever post-production you want for speed ramping. You can do speed ramping in this software. I just prefer it in DaVinci Resolve. I think it's cleaner and easier to mess with the transition between the two. I digress. Let's jump straight into it. First one I'm showing you is the easiest one in my opinion, and it's the one I use a lot for amenities like golf courses or anything that has an expansive amenities list. Here we go. We're on our golf course clip and I'm going to go over to where I know it starts, which is about right here. Here we go. So I'm going to drag this right on over here, and this indicates the beginning of the clip, where you want the clip to start. So drag it on over here, and then I'm going to put a keyframe. This keyframe shows basically where the camera will be starting when you first start. Now what I want to do is drag it around. I want it to be looking down, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a zoom in. Not much, just a little bit. Here we go. Now what I want to do is scroll forward to about right here. I'm going to add another keyframe, and I'm just going to lift the camera up like this. There we go. Now I'm going to come forward even further. Like right here, I'm going to add another keyframe, and what I'm actually going to do is bring the field of view out a little bit more so it looks bigger and wider. Oop, don't want to grab that and move it. Then I'm going to bring my keyframe even further, because right over here where, ooh, I bet you, can you see me pointing? You can't see me pointing, it's too tight in. Over here, there's some golfers, and I know, let's see, here we go. I want this keyframe to not move between these 2 points. So that's why I put that one there. And between this point and here, I want it to focus on those golfers. So we will zoom in a little bit, not zoom out. Let's see, keyframe. And we'll zoom in a little bit here. We'll scroll forward a little bit more to right past them. Then we're going to add another keyframe, and this is what's going to allow us to look back to where we just came from. Then we'll go forward a little bit more, and right about, oh, you see this is where I stop, and you see that wobble. The wind hits me. Look right up here. You can see that line right there in particular because of the wind hitting the drone when I went up. So I'm going to go right before that, and I'm going to end the clip there by dragging this forward. Try one more time, right? There we go, that's good enough. And then for this last one, I want it to be looking at the golf course itself and a nice wide view like this, because this is something that you can only do with the Sphere. So now when I go through and play through all this, well, it would help if I drug this out to the first keyframe. There we go. But that's basically it. I'll export it, and then I'll show you the clip we literally just made, and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, here we are into clip number 2, and I use this one all the time, especially when I'm doing downtown properties, anything that's in a high rise. This is a great shot to use. And once again, no FPV required, just the Sphere drone. Now here's the little clip out that I'm gonna do so you can see exactly what I'm doing in this shot. I'm literally just flying straight up with the Sphere attached. Now I'll show you how to edit it. We'll go back to this little portion that I like, add a keyframe as always, and we're gonna drag around this to where we want it to be. And I want it to be zoomed in a little bit, and I'm just using my mouse wheel to scroll in and out like that. So I want it to be zoomed in just a little bit. Then we're going to come forward to where we're raising up, and there's a point where, here we go. I think it's about right here. Nope, a little bit more forward, right there, where you can see where everything is. We're going to add one more keyframe right there, get the frame exactly where you want it, just like that. I'm going to come forward a little bit more to about right here. I'm going to look down, zoom in just a little bit, add that keyframe so you can see what this is doing now. There we go. Then I'm going to come all the way to about like here. Then I'm going to once again, but this time I'm going to zoom in nice and far like this and add that keyframe. Now, since this is a shorter clip, it'll be much easier for you to see before the export. See, you've got this climb effect. And once again, you can speed ramp all of this laterward if you want. Then once you get to the top, you slowly pan down and then you're going to zoom in just like that. Very unique shot. Once you throw a little stabilization on it, like I said, it's beautiful. I'm going to press the export button and I'll show you the final product. Boom. All right, here we go into clip number 3. This is actually the easiest one in my opinion. It's the one I do use the most often, and it's just an expanded reveal shot. Something that's harder to get on a drone because you can't later throw it open wide, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. So this is it, me launching from this aerial or this rooftop deck, should I say, and then coming out to show the whole city behind it. Now, usually with a drone in this shot, you'd have to fly back really far and you'd have to speed ramp that process, but using the sphere here allows you to go without speed ramping the process. So let's go ahead in it and do this clip. First thing I'm going to do, let's delete these from before, just so you can see. Here we go. This is where we're starting at. So we're going to go to about right here, add a keyframe because we want this to be here. There we go. So now nice smooth action, and from this keyframe is where we'll set our next one, and we want that to be about right here. And we will go ahead, reframe our shot, zoom out a little bit. That's too much. Let's go like right here, 73. How about that? There we go. And then scroll to the very end where you want it to stop. And that will show more of the city itself. Add one more keyframe, and there we go. Here we go. And there you can see the final clip. And as a matter of fact, why am I showing it to you here? Here's the final clip, and we'll go on to the next one. All right, here we are with our fourth and final clip, and this one is probably the most difficult of all the ones we've done before, especially if you want to match it up to music later, but that's another reason why I use speed ramping in another program, because I've not yet found a way to integrate music into this to edit to. So let's go on with the edit, and this is the clip that we're going to be editing through. It's a simple fly through of the city, just so you can see I'm flying through this kind of area. Now what I want to do is highlight this restaurant right down here. This is the goal because this is what it's all about, at least for this video's sake. So we'll go back to the beginning, we'll grab our first one and all the way to the beginning, and we'll set that. If you want these little keyframes, whenever you set them, first of all, let's go right here. You can double click them and that's how you adjust them. So we're going to put this right on our keyframe. We're going to fly forward to right before we reach our goal, which will be like right after we pass this sign. We'll put a keyframe, and that will stop any movement from happening right here at all. And then the next keyframe will start the movement basically. So here we go. We're going to move this forward to, let's go right here. We're going to come back around and we're going to zoom in one click. There we go. Add that keyframe. We're going to go past it to right here, and we're actually going to spin the camera around so that way as you pass it, it looks right back at it. There we go. And then we'll scroll all the way to the end of the clip right here. We will add one more keyframe of us turning back around like that. So here we go. You can see this part is boring. We'll skip through this. Then you can see us start the pan down from this movement. So it's not only panning down, it's zooming in a little bit, just like that. Then it'll hit the spot that we told it where that keyframe is. And now as you see, as we fly by it, it's looking right at it. Now another way you can do this, which would keep it directly in frame, is you can go to right here where you think the center is. You can add another keyframe and go ahead and center this out. So that way, whenever it makes the fly from this key point, now as it flies by, your midpoint will reach the midpoint of the restaurant just like you want it to. And then from that point, it will zoom back out just like before. And I'll go ahead and show you this video and then we'll cut back to the studio for the rest of this. All right, that's it. Those are the 4 shots that I use the absolute most when I'm using the Insta360 Sphere camera. Are those the only 4 shots I do? Definitely not. Those are just a great way to get started, or if you don't know what you're doing or have no clue how to use this camera, those are 4 really cool shots you can integrate into your videos right now that have high impact. If you like this video, like the information, like and subscribe, all that jazz. Check out my affiliate links, some of my art and merch below. You know the spiel. I don't have to tell it to you every time. As always, keep rocking and rolling. Enjoy what you're doing. Let me put this on. Make smart decisions, and if you got the Sphere, try some of these shots. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.